So there's a very famous answer from the Brisker Rav, Rabbi Yitzchak Soloveitchik, Halevi, right? To answer one of the questions that we were discussing a lot this week, Max, Milech, why Avram Avinu didn't do the Mitzvah of Milah until he was commanded. Okay? The Brisker Rav says a fascinating idea, and that is, the Mitzvah of Milah is to cut off the foreskin. But until the Torah made the Mitzvah of Milah, there was no reason for him to cut off the foreskin. It wasn't anything which needed to be cut off. It's we're not saying like we said last night, because of the prohibition against cutting yourself. But just simple. There'll be no reason for him to do it. Cutting off the foreskin is a mitzvah, because the Torah, what the Torah said that you can't do it, that it's an orla. You're an owl. Before the mitzvah of Milah was given, there would be no reason to do it, because it wouldn't be orla. Once the Torah said the mitzvah of Milah, then this is called ma'usa, like we discussed last night. It's called disgusting. It's something to get rid of. Before the mitzvah of Milah was given, Max, I'm over here. Before the mitzvah of Milah was given, okay, it didn't have, as it's saying in Brisk, the chalois shem arla. It didn't have the name on it that this piece now needs to be cut off. There's something wrong with it. It's an arla. It wasn't an arla. It was part of the body, just like any other part of the body. That's the Brisker Rav's teretz to this kash. Had to have before the mitzvah Milah was given, it didn't have the chalois shem arla. It didn't have on this body part an arla. It wasn't. There'd be no reason for him to cut it off. He wouldn't accomplish anything. There was no mitzvah to do. Once the Torah made a mitzvah of Milah, then it became an arla. And that answers up the question why Jacob married two sisters. It's a prohibition of the Torah. Can I marry two sisters?
No.
Answer is what?
I wasn't giving you. There's no reason not.
Right, but Yaakov Avinu kept the Torah. Avram Avinu for sure did.
But there was no reason not to marry two. Like there's nothing bad about it.
No, the Torah said you can't marry two sisters. What do you mean?
won't leave the meal or whatever because he married two sisters.
Oh, remember that Gemara? Very good. Shmuel, you can't marry two sisters. It's a prohibition.
I understand that.
So how did Yaakov marry two sisters if he kept the Torah before it was given? The Torah said he can't marry two sisters. How did he marry two sisters?
Same way. Avram Avinu didn't do bris milah, even though it was in the potential Torah.
Yeah, because very good. It was good. Put it together because by milah, until the Torah made the mitzvah milah, there was no reason to do arla. It wasn't arla. So until the Torah made the mitzvah of kedushin, the kedushin of before Torah was not the same kedushin that was Achman Torah. The Rambam tells us in the beginning of Hilchos Ishus.
So you're saying he got married twice because he wanted to feel kedushin?
I want to explain this concept briefly, and then I want to answer up in the Mashas Kasha based on this idea. We only have a few minutes. There's a difference between the Ishus of Matan Torah, before Matan Torah, and after Matan Torah. Once the Torah made Ishus, the concept of marriage, kedushin, the holiness of marriage, chuppah, kedushin, and all the obligations, that you can't do. You can't be mekadesh two sisters. You can't do what we call kedushin, the halachic Torah marriage of two sisters. But Yaakov Avinu was not doing kedushin. He was doing the before Matan Torah marriage. The ishus shel b'nai Noach is not the ishus of Yisrael.
I thought he knew how to do kedushin because it was in the Torah. He knew the whole Torah.
He did know, but I'm explaining to you this concept, and then after tomorrow we'll discuss it more. Before the Torah was given, the concept of marriage was not the way it is now. The Rambam tells us before marriage, a person finds a woman, he brings her home, if they both want to live together, and then they live together as husband and wife. That was the ishus. So Yaakov Avinu, says the Brisker Rav, an interesting teretz, was allowed to marry two sisters because he was marrying them. He wasn't doing kedushin with them. The issue of the Torah is that you can't do kedushin with two sisters. You can't do the Torah marriage with two sisters. That you can't do. He wasn't doing that. He was the ishus shel b'nai Noach. So therefore, there was no prohibition against two sisters. That's the Brisker Rav's teretz. Could be, I want to say, it's my own teretz, take it or leave it. The Mashah asked the following question, and then we'll end with this. According to one Pshatim, thank God it was you and not me. Okay, according to one Pshatim, Max, Avram Avinu tells Sarah, now I know that you're a beautiful woman, say you're my sister, right? So, what do you mean, now I know you're a beautiful woman? How about until now? So there's different interpretations of what that means. So one of the interpretations, the Gemara Baba Basra says, is now I know. He didn't know. He didn't see her. He didn't see her before he married her. The problem is that you can't do that. The Gemara says in Kedushin, you cannot be Makadosh a woman.
Because of that reason, though.
Because of what reason?
That's why we have to see the woman, because he got tricked.
Because of Yaakov and Lavan. Okay, So interesting. The Gemara doesn't say that, but very interesting. We'll discuss that another time. Very good. The Gemara says, no, that's not the reason. Interesting, because this is before, right? Avram Avinu didn't see the woman before he married her. He didn't see so. That's what it says. Now I know you're a beautiful woman. Until now he didn't see her. Are you with me, Max? Okay. So Shmuel. So. What do you mean he didn't see her? The Gemara says in Kedushin, you cannot marry a woman till you see her, because Lecha kamalcha. You have to love your friend like yourself, a woman too, each person. So if you're going to marry a woman who you don't love, you don't like, you're going to find her not unappealing, you're going to hate her, it's going to become a whole thing. And then you're going to transgress the prohibition of loving your friend like yourself. Says the Gemara, you can't do that. You see the woman, make sure she's okay with you, and then you can marry her. So how come Avram Avinu kept the Torah? How come he didn't? How come he transgressed this prohibition of not marrying a woman until you see her, according to this shot that in those words, now I know that you're a beautiful woman. So there's different answers to this question. According to the Brisker Rav, you can answer as follows. Also, Yekadesh, you can't do Kedushin. Avram Avinu wasn't doing Kedushin. Avram Avinu was doing the before Matan Torah, before the Torah was given, marriage. Marriage, no problem. If you do marriage, the marriage of Bnei Noach, that is no problem. You can marry two sisters, you can marry a girl without seeing, or you can do all that stuff. But Yekadesh, Kedushin, the marriage of Achama and Torah, that's a different story, and that you can only do until you see the girl. Avram Avinu was not doing that, and therefore there was no prohibition. Shabbat Shalom.